The Fleet Mag Celebrity Corner with DJ Swag 100. Today's special guest, Herb Middleton.
Hello, everybody. I'm Swag 100 from the Worldwide Fleet Magazines. We appreciate y'all for tapping in with us right here with the Fleet Mag. We have the honorary, multi-Grammy nominated, multi-platinum recording producer, songwriter, musician, and arranger, the one and only Herb Middleton, also known as Big Herb, not the little one.
What's up, Swag? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. No complaints. I woke up to see another day,
Yeah.
better than yesterday,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's all about you today. How life been treating you today?
Oh man, life has been beautiful. I'm like you. I'm thankful for another day, and being in my right mind is what I hold. I'm really excited about that because if you ain't in your right mind to these days, you could it could be all the way to the left, you know what I'm saying? It could be way different.
Yeah,
So I'm thankful, thank God for my mind, you know what I'm saying?
definitely, man. We definitely gotta be praiseful for having a solid mind, because there are some that don't, and these are hard times right now, in these years that we're seeing, it's a lot different, but
Yeah.
hey, having a good mind, keep you with great actions.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And great music.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's what we hear about. You're one of the best that ever did it, and
Thank you. That's love. Thank you.
if nobody told you, just growing up listening to music, and with those, I like to call it the golden eras, had to offer, you contributed a lot to that with a lot of the hits and a lot of the artists that's, we look at. And sometimes in this game, the artists get more of the look than the people that actually bring everything together, as far as the engineers, the producers, the musicians that, make it, sometimes they get overlooked in the game. So it's an honor to have you, on our Fleet Mag platform and conducting this interview.
Oh, it's my pleasure to be here, man. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Somebody like you on your status, you have well over 2 decades, pushing 3 decades of experience in the game, in general. Um, what is your thing, your reasoning for you to continue on this journey?
Uh, First of all, man, like honestly, I never stop. I never stop appreciating the gift of music that I've been blessed with. Um, Music is an extraordinary gift that can soothe the soul or it can cause the soul some damage. So I particularly am one that is conscious that I conscious for producing music that soothes the soul, that gives it, that gives you that lighter frequency, not nothing that want to make you, like you said, make your mind just like make you lose your mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now going into the 30th year of what I've been doing, it's more purpose driven. Actually, I just got finished texting Faith, what I'm talking about, Faith Evans, who I happened to know before Bad Boy. And yeah, so that's it, man. Like it's a great gift, and I'm still, still blessed to be around doing it and doing it on a whole nother level right now. Like with my company, MoonTown Records and Publishing, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man DJ CatX and all the MoonTown family. I know you didn't ask me to do all that right now,
But
but
that's fine. That's fine. It's about you and what you want to express to the world.
appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, one thing about me as I'm a multimedia communication by specialist, by specialty. And I'm trying to rebrand hip hop, through interviews and media in general, not just interviews, but media in general. I believe that media right now, today, expresses more of the lifestyle versus the craft. And this is why we see the state of, you know, the music industry is where it's at. We're more too worried about what block you came from, what projects, who you hang with, versus really getting to know the craft, the person, the artistry, the intelligence behind the creation, So that's why I'm more driven to get out of all of my interviews, the artistry, the craft, things that really should matter to your consumers versus your particular lifestyle.
Yeah, yeah, that salute on that. And unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, the consumers have been fed fast food over the last 20 or more years when it comes to hip hop. And they used to it. And so it's now like we got to give them a different type of menu. You know what I'm saying? Um, we got to give them something else to eat. And that doesn't knock away the fast food. It just gives them a different option, that can serve, a different, because everybody don't have the same appetite.
And that's true. That's true. But you still have to give them options, and speaking of
You got to
options,
give them.
your music gives that. Your music gives options. It's not just in one lane, you're very versatile with your creations. And I want to know, where does that come from? Because a lot of producers are boxed in. They, sometimes producers get complexed in a certain pocket, and that creativity that you used to experience with them isn't there anymore. You kind of know that this is this person on this track versus like, who did this? What where does that variety comes from for you? People can read your bio as many times as they want, but for you, where does that extra creativity, to go above and beyond to find that sound or mesh sounds together and create something totally different or almost going towards a new genre? How does that happen for you?
Um, one of the things that helps me to be versatile in my production is I'm a musician, and and am able to play different various styles, so I can incorporate different styles, different beats, different sounds in my production, and having the knowledge of music and the history of where soul came from, I can also incorporate that. So it really pays to be a little older today, Swag. Because I was around when we had so much various musicians and artists in the 90s and the 80s and the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there was I always mention this during my interviews, is that back in the day we had a different variety of different sounds, different artists, and the industry became one dimensional. Hip hop particularly became one dimensional, and it's like, I want that sound that's on the radio. No matter who it is, we want to duplicate that sound. So I'm one that goes against the grain. If that person is using 808, I ain't using 808, man, because everybody uses the 808. People
Right.
be asking me, I don't want to hear 808. I don't want to use 808, my bro. Like I use whatever drum that I want to use. And like when you go to a concert and hear a drummer play, you don't ask the drummer, you're using a Gretsch set. I want you to use a Ludwig set, and then I'll be happy. you're not, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
I don't know. It's fully understood, because sometimes, you know, you limit the creativity by having a want for a particular sound, or brand, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm well understood on that. Um, you know, I guess because I want to make sure that we also appeal to the younger crowd as well with this question, and because those who know the music, they already understand. So I also like to make sure we reaching all generations, right? So,
Absolutely.
you work with the
And
ushers.
that's a good thing. What you just said is good because I'm sorry to cut you off, Swag, but then that's another thing. When I produce, like if I'm trying to reach a certain demographic, then I may choose to use that. I may choose to use something that person may want to hear in their music, but I don't have to. Like, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? To all the youth, the younger people that are producing music, it's okay to be original. It's okay for you to do something different. That's what adds flavor to the whole music game. And one of the producers that I really admire and have admired, never talked to him, is Timberland
Mm,
because he brought such a unique sound, a unique flavor to the game that even though it's distinct, but it's creative. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
And you can feel the
Yeah.
fun in it. You can feel the
And
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to get stuck on one drum sound. You don't have to get stuck on 1,000 hi-hats per minute. You
Right.
know, we can all do that. I mean, I do it sometimes, but not all the time. Sometimes I'm just
I'm I did have a question. I'll get back to that after I ask this question. You just made me think of another question. Now, you spoke of Timberland, right?
Mhm.
For you, I know that Timberland, we know that it's a Timberland beat by a distinct snare drum. Do you particularly have that distinct one instrument that you particularly use? And for now on, we could go back and be like, you know what? That's Big Herb right there.
Yeah, there's this synth sound that I use quite frequently, Swag, and still today, every once in a while I throw it in a record, and it's like a synth Moog, not Moog sound. It's like a mono synth.
Okay.
I use it on Mary's. Um, I use it on Mary's "Never Want to Live Without You."
Okay.
Like it's I use it in "Can't You See."
Mm. Yeah, it does have a distinct sound. It does have a
That's a
distinct
good
sound.
sound. I
Yes.
use
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and actually I'll be hearing people be using it, and I'll be like, okay, it's cool, it's a compliment, saying when I hear the sound being used.
Right.
And somebody may have used it before me, but that is the distinct sound of Herb Middleton. When you hear that, you know it. And obviously the 808 bass sound that gives that bottom, that edge. I
Now,
use that.
now, do you use a 404? Because a lot of people stuck on an 808 and they don't, like you do say you use whatever you feel like in a moment, but are you someone that'll go with a 404 instead of an 808 to get that just like almost an 808 sound, but it's like different. They can't really figure it out. You know,
I use the six. Oh,
mm,
was the 606? I use that. But to be honest, I use multiple kick drums. I blend them in. Like
right.
I don't use just like a 808. You know, I mix my drums. I mix my drums, snares. I mix it up.
For the young people, yeah, he layers his instruments. He's
Yeah, yeah,
trying to give
yeah,
y'all the game. Y'all gotta pick it up, right?
yeah.
Now, you work with the likes of, like you said, Mary J. Blige. You just had Faith Evans on the phone. What? SWV Total. Al Green, a lot of different, that's levels, young generation, old generation, um, what were maybe your top three productions? And is it because you worked with that particular artist, or just like I sent it and it just worked out great when they sent it back? What will be your top three? And could you break it down? Did you work in the studio with them, or did you send it over? How did that work out?
Um, my top is Al Green. That is monumental. That was a monumental accomplishment for me.
Now, were you in the
Cause I,
studio?
I cause I grew up, my parents listened to Al Green. And so I'm in the studio with Reverend Al Green, and he's asking me, so what you want me to do? You want me to, that was monumental for me because here I am working with a legend. I mean, a legend. And he's asking me what to do. And I was like, how you asking me what to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, but then I eventually woke up and said, okay, he wants me to produce him. So I did that. Of course, it's Mary J. Blige. Um, Worked in the studio with her. Unbelievable experience. Um, who else was at the Kenny Lattimore?
Mm,
Those three, actually Usher.
mm.
Usher, because he was 15, 14, 15. Um, when I worked with him, and I was blown away at his vocal ability at that age. I was like,
His range was crazy.
range at 14, 15 is dumb. Sick.
I can imagine. I can imagine that session.
Yeah, so that's like that's different generations right there. That's Usher when he was 15, Mary, and then Al Green.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah.
big difference in age, maybe 20 years apart.
Now, Mary doesn't have the average singing voice,
No, not at all.
so was there any, I don't want to say, was there any learning experience to as a producer to work with, and what, we both understand what I mean. She doesn't have the average singing voice. Was that more of a challenge to work with her, or was it a learning experience? Like, what was it like working with Mary? I heard a lot of producers sometimes it's just like, she can't, So for someone to actually get in the studio and work with her, and y'all punch something out, and it becomes what it is, how was that as a, producer, from a producer standpoint?
From a producer standpoint, like I'm a, I've always been, and still today, I'm an individualist. What I mean when I say that, like I just let and accepted Mary for what she was vocally, and did the best that I could to do. When I worked with Puff and when I didn't work with Puff, working with her, I had worked with, obviously I worked with Puff for the first time, and next couple of times I worked with a solo. So I had learned her soul. I had learned the fact that Mary has to come from a very soulful, emotional place. How she feels at that time, it's important to grasp that. It's not, you're going to have perfection with her voice in the earliest, you know, as because she's on a whole different level right now vocally. But Mary would give you what was in her soul, and I think that's one of the things that really made her who she is. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't. She's very transparent. She's not she's, you can't look for perfection. I don't look for perfection with artists anyway. I look for delivery. I look for, am I feeling the emotions? Is my skin crawling? That's one thing I picked up from Diddy. Also early on, he used to be like, "Yo, my skin, I gotta feel chill bumps." Like that was his
Right.
thing early.
Right.
So I picked that up. Like I'm like, yo, I gotta feel my my skin hit. You know, my hand got to raise on my skin.
Right.
If that's not happening, then something is missing.
Right. Before we get into what we got going on, transpiring today and everything, I seen that in this January you put together words though, and the reason why I thought of this as a segue is you just mentioned on what you look for as a producer inside of an artist, So I seen in January you link with several other, iconic producers and singers and things of that nature to look for people or someone to do artist development with or help develop artists.
Yeah, yeah. You talk what me and Cadex is doing?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. There are a lot of artists that that have the talent but don't have the experience of being developed and shine. So Fleet to the Moon is a project that I came up with. I talked it over with Cat X and DJ Cat X, and we basically said, okay, we can make this work. We can give artists opportunities to work, to be produced by myself. It is a business, so it ain't gonna be free.
Right.
But if you know the value of if you know that someone like myself really is not trying to get a quick dollar, but really trying to help people that are serious about getting their careers to the next level, because I can get their careers to the next level if they follow instructions, if they follow directions. They have a better chance with somebody like myself that's got skin in the game and with the business aspect, because what we're doing is we're building a business-minded people that are just not about the music, not just about, you got to you could love it, but this is a business. So, that is artist development. That is like, how do your hook sound? Does your beat sound familiar? Because if it sounds familiar, I'm probably not going to really be looking at you because that was done already.
Right.
That's, you know what I'm saying? I want to create a new type of car. I don't want to create a used car and
Right.
call it new. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, so we're extending that service, and everybody that's interested, they got to get in touch with DJ Cat X. Excuse me, Celebrity DJ X. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah,
Right. Now that's awesome that you giving people that chance, and I asked you that question, it was two things for me, right now I run the Fleet Artist Development Program. So I'm developing, all the artists in 41 states, making sure, what goes down, the paperwork and all of that stuff, and just showing them
good.
you got these particular things done in the back end when you do get on radio, when you do get on TV, when you do get here, there, you could get these mechanical royalties paid through publishing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Basically
Excellent.
giving them the business model of it so that when they're out making their moves on their own or using our services, it's like this is how you benefit, whether you're paying for a show right now or they're paying you for a show right now. You still get this on the back end if you're registered, you're reporting, these different little things. So I appreciate that, dropping that quick jewel because, that is very important. A lot of artists are making songs, they're recording in the basement, they just throwing it right on YouTube, Spotify, whatever. And it's like, you just missed a whole bunch of steps, and if there is somebody interested in you, you give them the upper hand on negotiation if you don't have these particular things done, you know?
Right,
So,
right.
and you also,
And
you limit yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, go
No,
ahead.
no, 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 no. It's good, man. It's like I salute you for doing that because again, man, like there's so much talent, man. Like there's so much talent out here that people they spending their money, they buy, some people buy followers. They just they want to be heard, they want to be seen. Like it's kind of a rat. No, it's not kind of it is a rat race. And like for me, I'm I'm just like somebody sold into my career, somebody, Teddy Riley, he saw something in me. Puff at the beginning, he saw something in me. He gave me a chance. They gave me a chance. So I'm like, it's a different day because we ain't got no stores. The record companies, everybody got a studio in their bathroom. So anybody can just record. You can record in your car. It's a different day. So it's like, but how are you progressing? Like you said, do you know the business? And so Fleet to the Moon it represents your travel agency to the level of success. That's what I would call it. Your travel agency. I like that. May
Mm.
have to write that down.
Yeah, make sure you do. That's dope. So, as a producer, a lot of producers they struggle maybe to get heard or to get seen or to get that artist. I guess it will be considered a placement, with an artist. Um, I know, but I'm just trying to get you to explain it. What are the other outlets as far as like sync deals and getting your music on movies or commercials or what are the other outlets that younger producers need to explore besides keep trying to find this artist or this label or you know
um, it depends. It depends. I think everything starts with the goal of the producer. Every producer and artist have to ask themselves, what am I in this for? Um, because there's some people that just want to be famous because they've been rejected all their life.
mm,
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't suggest you get into the music business because there's going to be a lot of rejection. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, if you're in it because you love what you do, that's got to be the thing that you have first. And if you want to get into the business, you have to be business minded, which means you got to dare to be different in your approach to how you do. If Because licensing is a real thing, sync licensing is a real thing, publishing is a real thing, but is selling your music on a personal within your city, within your let's start by trying to make money with your music in your surrounding areas.
mm-hmm.
Because the more money you have, the more you can invest in yourself, in your client. Because let me tell you a secret, folks. A lot of people out here are buying their way.
Yeah.
So, if being a smart business person is because you're in the business for profit, you got to think about, okay, how can I, if you, people buy popularity all the time. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And popularity causes a demand. Popularity causes attention. That's why and you may get the attention of the right movie director or something that says, oh, shoot, and he's different too, and he's dope. I know I'm probably going all over the place, but
No, but you are correct, and the popularity, and when I speak of popularity, I'm not speaking on bots and things of that nature, but that will be today's advertisement and marketing dollars like it always been. A lot of artists, I tell them particularly, that's the difference between you and your favorite artist. You know, you're just as good. You do got a following, you bring out hundreds of people, but you're not spending no marketing and advertisement dollars. You know, who knows that
who knows you're great?
who knows you made it this far? Who knows your independent artist is bringing out 500 people every show? Who knows these things? So no, you definitely right. Sometimes you do have to spend some type of money to receive some type of popularity or get the word out. And that's one thing a lot of artists like to invest into. Those type of things, or even just paperwork. They just want to record, do shows, and or even producers, they just want to make beats and give it away, and that's
You
it.
gotta find that's one thing, like Swag, you gotta know what you're in it for. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you could just I know people that just make beats and they want to get paid for making beats. And there's some people out here that may I just love making beats. I just enjoy that. And that's cool too. Every individual has to know where your goals are, because if you don't have a focus, you're not going to be focused. You
Right,
gotta know where I'm trying to get here. Fleet to the Moon is a collective. It's gonna be a new brand, and a brand where we have various artists, because I know for a fact that Cash Money, when you had Cash Money, they had different artists.
right,
Basically, we're taking the idea of bringing unity and make that a moving thing. So this Fleet to the Moon is elevating. It's not down here. You got to look up, because now you get my attention.
right,
So you get so um everybody has to find out what their focus is, because there's a trillion people doing this. What's gonna make me stand out?
right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, because me personally, I don't believe in competition. I believe in doing things different, because once I do something different and it's successful, then I'm not going to have to look for nothing. People are going to look for me. And
right,
that's how you got to think like that.
right. No, that's truth beyond doubt. That's peace. So, uh, almost 3 decades in the game. That means that you went through every type of way that the consumer consumes music. If the way that they consume music is transitioning, that means that the way that the music is being created is also transitioning. So, we go from hardware, software to digital, so how has that been for you to keep up with, or leveling hardware, software, and digital where to create for the creation that we hearing today, which is going to lead us to the music that we're hearing from you today. Because some people still stay analog, some people mix both, So where are you at with it? Are you utilizing all the it's so many different new softwares and pianos and
Yeah.
MPs, and it's just so much different things that came out. How is this working out for you? Like, how's your brain working with all this new stuff that's coming out since then?
It really, it can really drive me nuts, and I won't let it because I understand that that everything is changed now. From sounds, the way songs are written, and but I'm not changing. I I'm I stay true to what's in me creatively, And that's what makes me me. And um, in doing, I'm able to use a little bit of what I know from yesteryear, and I can mix it with today. I think the perfect example of an artist who did something that's really significant that I admired when they first came out was Ella May. When
Mm,
she came out with that Booed Up, I was like, oh shoot, she got it. Or whoever the producer was. Because
right.
they mixed a little bit of yesterday's feel with today's sound and her lyrical swag, simple melodies, not nothing that is like you gotta, oh, they cursing me out on the R&B record. It was fire. So that it could be done. You know what I'm saying? She proved that it could be done. You could stay true to yourself and add a little sprinkle of today with, old analog with digital. Or, some people just, yo, you got an auto tune? That's all they want to hear is like, yo, I do, but I don't think we should oversaturate this because it's oversaturated.
Right.
T-Pain said, do something different. He was right.
Yeah.
Do something different. Mm.
Yeah. So bring us up to date with, today, like, what you pushing, Knock You Out, Brown Girl, how did these tracks come about? Whose future, was you in the house recording it? Did y'all go to a big studio? Was you on a plane when you made the beat? Bring us into your world.
Yo, what's really different about me, Swag? Like I'm very practical. Like I don't need a lot. I don't need an SLC board. Like my famous story is that when I was everybody was using MPCs in the 90s. I recorded all my 90s music on an Atari computer.
Mm,
And I always kept it simple. I don't need a lot. Like the gift that God, the Most High, has blessed me with, it allows me to like take a little and make something extraordinary with it.
mm.
So I keep it real simple, man. It's like, you know, did I answer your question?
I mean, you didn't get us the sauce and the juice behind the tracks, but I understand that too, but you gotta give us a little flavor, like how all right, let's start with Knock You Out. How did that come about? Where
Oh,
where,
okay,
where
okay.
did the
You talking
title
about
come from?
creative?
Yes,
Talking about my creative space.
yes.
Um, okay, my creative space is for that particular song it was a classic, and then originally when I did it, I was affiliated with celebrity boxing,
Mm,
official celebrity boxing. That league that's growing right now. I know the owner of the league, so I said, yo, let me take this track. I gave it to an uh this artist that I used to work with. Um, didn't really feel the direction I was taking it in, and that's okay because you don't have to feel the direction, you know.
mm,
But I stick to the vision that I have because that's very important to me. Once I have a vision, I stick to it, and that what motivated that song was because it was attached to boxing.
mm,
Now, was Damon Dash is involved with that league, and it's just growing. And on top of that, I had just worked with Roy Jones.
mm,
Did a track on him, and so I said, like, let me. Once I did it, then this fight comes up everybody's Mike Tyson is fighting Jake Paul. I'm like, Jake Paul. I'm like, oh, that's a different spin. So obviously that's LL's smash that gave him a big lift in his career. And Mikey D, who's on artist on MoonTown, is boys with LL. But before I gave it to Mikey D, I gave it to an artist that signed to MoonTown, Anthony D. So originally, Anthony D had the whole song by himself. But then I said, hold up. My mind's thinking again. LL and Mikey D, they boys. Actually, Mikey D inspired his name. So I said, let me throw Mikey D on the track. So that's like, and his name happened to be Mike. Oh, so we got two Mikes that we talk about now because I'm Mike Tyson, and we got Mikey D.
Right.
You feel me? So that's how that came about. Brown Girl is actually a song that I recorded on the artist Brandy Little, who's also on MoonTown. I recorded it a while ago, and I played it for Kim, and Kim, who's an executive of MoonTown, she went bonkers. And so a Brown Girl book tour was developed out of that song.
Wow.
So it's like authors, my wife included, is one of the authors that are going out to different libraries, Barnes and Nobles. Authors are talking about their books. Deborah Pointer. There's some other significant ones that I can't remember. Ethel Gardner. Just creative stuff that's connected to purpose.
Right.
So when I produce now, for the most part, I'm looking at the thing that's attached to the thing. Right. It's not, because we're not just in a day where people just go, oh, I heard that record, I want to buy it. And if they buy it, they don't have to buy it because it's being streamed, for crying out loud. So how am I going to make a profit off of that? So I said, okay, let me think from a business perspective. Boxing, song. Book tour, but the book tour, that was Kim's. So shout out to Kim again for that vision. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but that's
so my process, I'm sorry, Jake, my process now is business music. It's not the music business anymore for me. It's the business music.
That's what I was getting ready to say. This is actually how we have to think as creators in today's game. I have a product, maybe I don't have sponsorship, but I can gain one by networking with this person that has this and attach this to that. And we can attach, and now we have something here where we can benefit. So I was telling you earlier, multimedia specialist. So, Brandon is a part of multimedia, so I get it. And I believe that you're a genius, because a lot of people, they either don't wake up, they know it, but they don't wake up, or they don't want, a lot of people want change, but they don't want to change. You see what I'm saying? So
I like that.
That you want to change. You're not coming in as, no, we're going to follow the regular protocol. All right, I see how this is going, but they don't got this. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the thing. It's like, yes, this is working, but we can work this way too, but they don't have this. They don't have this. This is it. This is what makes this different than that here,
Sure.
But for you,
what you just said is crazy, though. We got to talk about that offline. Like what you said, people, they want change, but they don't want to change. How true is that? I could stay on that for 11 years.
No, I see it every day. I'm from Philly. I see it every day.
Oh, word.
Yeah. But how important, as a creator, a producer, music, a musician, an arranger, engineer, all of these different things, because they all tie into one. You said something that was very key back in the day, earlier in the interview. You said, I know the history of music. This is what, I'm glad I'm from this era, because I got an edge on the new producers. And what I'm noticing is, you have good producers, but what's make a person a great producer when they actually understand music. They understand music history as well. You know, where things derive from, where it comes, because they get an extra edge than someone who's just like, hey, I'm gonna start making beats today. You know, I'm gonna start singing today. I'm gonna start rapping. I'm gonna start engineering today. Sometimes this history that we forget about, it's like, as long as you stand on this, and this is why I want you to answer this, because you keep saying, I'm basic. I don't need all of these things. I'm basic. So for me, I'm picking up, it got to be the history. It got to be that, you know, why is that important as a creator in any era? You could be a cameraman. History is very important, but why is that for you?
Because anytime you anytime you lose the foundation of anything, you have no substance.
Mm.
Like you can't, like, if you don't know Marvin Gaye and you doing R&B music, shame on freaking you. If you don't know Earth, Wind and Fire, if you don't know Rakim, if you don't know the Lost Boys, and you in hip hop, there's something is wrong. That the foundation of anything, this world today is big on forgetting about the foundation of everything. I'm glad I'm over 50 because I was here when Bad Boy was created. Actually, I was one of the first producers when Bad Boy came into existence. Before it came into existence, so I saw the rise of it, and I was here when Motown was popping because I was a kid. So
Right.
all of those, that education, that education came into my system. And that's why I'm able to be basic and come from the soul, if that makes sense. I'm able to be soulful. I could rock with a Jill Scott. I could rock, you know what I'm saying? You from Philly. I could do the music soul child. I could, because all that comes from a foundation of soul.
Yes, yes, definitely does. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, a good friend of mine is Lady Alma. You know, and she's like the queen of soulful house music. You know, and she's real big on originality and not doing so much, but really speak to the soul of the people that's listening to what she has to give them. You
Who?
know,
What's your
Lady,
name?
Lady Alma, the Lady Alma. Check her out. She do soulful house music, but she been doing this over 2 decades too as well. You know, probably like 25
Oh,
years. You know, and she been signed overseas for a very long time. She's more famous overseas than here in the States. You know, so um
good pick.
you know, so so you know, but yeah, she's definitely known as one of the queens of if not the queen of soulful house music, you know, probably one of the most sampled as well, um, in that genre.
Oh,
But that she's real big on originality.
knock you out, paying homage to LL, who did the original song Mama Said Knock You Out. It features Anthony D, Mikey D, uh, a little Sparky D. There's a bunch of, it's three Ds, and my man Lemoyne Alexander, who's on the guitar. These are all Moontown affiliates.
If anybody ever heard the original and know what parts were sampled, what you did with those, you know, you know, just to make it not as hard as it was in the original and bring it in the, you know, have it in the back as more like a, maybe I don't know, I don't want to say the wrong word, but make it almost sound like it's a synth, you know. Um and that the guitar skills was out of here. That was amazing. He was playing that thing. But that one sound that you know, it hit every I like it. It's very distinct. That kept us up. It's like it wake you up every time, you know, and the scratching and everything. It was, it was there, man. I love it. I love it. For me, as a journalist, like I said, I always try to ask questions a little bit different and really get to know the artistry, the person behind whatever it is that they do. Um,
Hmm.
and you know, I critique a lot of music because I do a lot of different things outside of journalism. And we hear a lot of music. I love when I hear music. Like I love when I hear actual music because, it resonates with the soul. It resonates
Hmm.
with the soul. And that's what music should do. It should resonate with the soul, and
Right.
definitely I me as a consumer, I appreciate the consistency of the original Knock You Out sounds being there, but I also love the original things the elements that y'all put on the track of Knock You Out, you know. So if,
Love, I appreciate that, bro.
if anybody can create something or recreate something that still pays homage to the original, I would say that was perfect. That was a perfect mess of still creating something new, but still paying homage to the original core of where it came from, you know. Um,
I
Brown Girl,
appreciate it.
no, no doubt, no doubt, and Brown Girl was it's there, it's soulful.
Like that's what I'm talking about when I was talking earlier about the foundation of where music needs to come from, where it has substance. Because for her to create that song, obviously we went back and created a hook around what she wrote, but the verses she just sang straight from the soul.
Right. You know, I formed a relationship with Macy Gray, and I just wanted to say that Brandy just remind me that voice, that
Whoa.
that Macy Gray voice, man. That it's hard to duplicate that, and I would say if anybody for the first time, that was somebody I heard that gave me like a younger Macy Gray type voice, you know, that she's powerful, man. Tell
I am fortunate to have this young lady a part of Moontown and what we are looking to do, especially with the Brown Girl tour, man. That means a lot what you just said. I hope she's watching because that's a real encouragement to her and it is to me.
let the people know, before we get off here, let them know a little bit about your company, who are y'all looking to help attract, or if it's way, endorsers or investors can help your company or things of that nature to help push your envelope a little further, let us know before we get out of here.
And the name of my company again is Moontown Records and Publishing. And we're a company that is really publishing based. Originally, it was created for writers, excellent writers, and then artist development. And we have several artists. We have a couple of artists, not a couple. We have about 9, 10 artists right now. Can't mention them all because I always forget when I'm on interviews. So I'm not going to call out any names, but we are called Moontown for the reason of taking music and being on a different level when it comes to our creativity. We are not discriminative. We don't discriminate against age. We're very focused on the business, building a business, and not compromising our integrity when it comes to creativity. We are about 401k music, which we are building a new catalogs that will be here for the next 15, 20 years and more. Something that really record labels I feel, are falling short of today because of today's creativity. So we are building, if you would, with no disrespect to Motown, we are building a new um, an extension of Motown when it comes to creating that music that can stand the test of time. And we welcome all investors to get behind us because with our level of expertise, my staff, from the CEO, Mark Goldstein, Kim, that handles business affairs, uh, DJ Cat Eggs on the promotions team. We are well staffed and well capable of turning the time with younger and older artists by adding a different menu to the music that is being heard today. So we are very business oriented. We just got a song placed on Good Morning America with the mascot. Um, the mascot is Ray, so that song is gonna be pushed there. We are almost getting ready to close on a major situation with a major label, but we still welcome investors because we have so many things that we are connected to, including the Brown Girl Book Tour. We're creating a program for athletes who want to get into the music business and really want to be successful in case they sprain an ankle and can't dunk no more. We got we got that for we got Dirt to Diamonds. We have a play that we're working on. We have a couple of things that we are working on right now. And yeah.
All right, definitely, definitely, definitely. Now, is there anything that you will give a young producer if you could talk to the younger you, but knowing that there was other producers sitting with the younger you around? What information would you give them? Like if they only had that 2 to 3 minute window, what would you give them?
Oh, be original. If you copy anybody, you're not yourself. If you it's all right to appreciate what you hear, but you need to add elements to that. Like for example, when Teddy Riley heard my music, he could hear that I was a big fan of New Jack Swing. But through that, I still have my own thing. So you still appreciate those that have laid the foundation, but also put your own twist on it. And that'll make you stand out. If you sound like everybody else, how you ever going to be discovered? You're going to get lost with a trillion people that sound the same.
Wow, that's peace. That's definitely peace. And
Also, I forgot to add, we're doing an outreach. I'm sorry to cut you off, man. We're doing we're very involved in community affairs. MoonTown is, especially when there's tragedies that have taken people's lives away. There's a project that we're working on from a young man called, his name was Andrew. I can't remember his last name, but it's called the Jew Project. And what we're doing is we got a song that we have called We Need Help. This young man was taken down by a police officer and that had a mental health. And how many times did that have to happen to people, especially our people, that are taken down by some trigger-happy police officer that doesn't know how to respond to a human being that has mental health. So we are involved with that with a politician in Jersey City, and that's that's more than money to us. That's helping the family, heal. We do what we can do to help people heal
right,
without me.
right, right. No, that's very important. I tell artists all the time that your music is a platform. Like you get ready to go down in Queens, you about to go hit the train or whatever, or you about to you in Philly, you about to go hit the sub real quick. You know, that thing that you're standing on, waiting for the train to pull up, that's your music. You know, you either gonna get on the local or the express, but you go is that music
Whoa.
gonna take you to the next area or next place you need to go, you know. So don't get complexed on just the music, because then, like you said, when you start adding other things to the music, there's no telling what you'll get out of it, you know. Merch, plays, books, whatever, you know. So, but I appreciate having you. I want to end the recording, but I just want to have a quick 2 to 3 minute conversation with you outside of the interview, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, man. You saying some stuff. I hope this is recorded because I'm a guy. Like I write songs off of conversations all the time. I got like 4 hits from you. You just said something.
Yeah, this
This
is a
is Fleet
recorded
to the
conversation.
Moon for real.
Well, yo, Fleet Mag, this is the Fleet Mag. I am Swag 100. You know, we were sitting here with the greatest, one of the greatest producers of all time in my book, to be honest with y'all, you know, the legendary Herb Middleton. Make sure, man, y'all check him out. Y'all check out MoonTown Records and everything that they have going on, and all the artists is over there. And yes, this concludes the Fleet Mag call. We appreciate having you, King.
I appreciate being here to interview by man. I enjoyed myself tremendously.
Definitely. We appreciate it.
For interviews, music news, and entertainment, go to thefleetmag.com.